I come on here to help because I have gone through so much incredible struggle in my life, horrible, desperate struggle, and I've overcome so much to get where I am today. And it's important to tell these stories of struggle, to tell these stories of shame, to share how much despair I have actually been in my life. A lot of people might see me on social media or YouTube. I make YouTube videos and say, oh, Shane's got it all figured out. No, the exact opposite. I've scrambled. I've been desperate to figure out how to just survive, and I wanted to come on here and share a specific story of massive struggle. My dad was a middle class guy. He raised me middle class. He provided a decent life for me growing up, but the real problem was that both of my parents had very poor mindset financially. So we were able to just scrape by with a middle class life. But what really happened to me is that I got traumatized by my parents. They never really supported me. They didn't provide me anything. When I turned 16, my mom bought me like a $300 beater car. And she said, Here, you're on your own, buddy. I remember being broken down on the side of the road with gasoline spewing out of my car, and I had to go to the auto parts store and get a hose and a clamp and come back and figure out how to fix my car on the side of the road at 16. I didn't have anybody to take care of me or to provide me anything or any guidance at all. And that led to like an abandonment trauma that I've been dealing with my whole life. I've been working to overcome my abandonment trauma. You know what abandonment trauma leads us to is poverty. When we have struggles with money, it's because we have trauma patterns in our life that are holding us back, that are kind of like damaging our self esteem from behind the scenes. And that's what everybody's dealing with. We have damaged self esteem. I've been working to build up my self esteem and overcome these patterns, and in my 20s, it got really, really bad. In my 20s was when I went into a really dark night of the soul and I gave up. I gave up on life. I gave up on myself. It was one of the hardest periods of time in my life. I was suicidal. I wanted to end my life. I had no hope. Just the time in my 20s when I had the most energy to give, the most value to give to society. I could have been doing something productive. And instead, I was hiding away in this terrible little apartment I lived in total squalor. I didn't do the dishes for 2 years. I was so depressed that I didn't even do the dishes for 2 years. I didn't even take out the garbage for 2 years. I'm going to be really honest with you guys. Okay. I don't know if I've ever talked about this, but I lived in this little apartment. It was actually a little 1 bedroom, like studio cabin. It was very isolated, like 20-minute drive to the nearest grocery store in the woods. It was really isolated. So I isolated myself. And then I didn't take the garbage out for 2 years. It piled up in the house. I had an armchair and a TV. The TV was on 24/7. I never turned it off. And the garbage piled up. I lived with piles of black garbage bags around me because I was so depressed. I was so miserable. I didn't even want to live. I also didn't do the dishes. The sink was caked on food everywhere. I didn't take a shower for 2 years. You guys might not believe it, but I did not take a shower for 2 years. I didn't brush my teeth for 2 years. And I ended up getting lots of cavities. I had to go to the dentist finally out of complete despair and pain. I went to the dentist and he said, You have $3,000 in dental repairs. I didn't have a single dollar to my name. I was living in total squalor. I was on the edge of survival. And this was all in my 20s. I really was in a very dark place and I didn't know how to provide value. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what my next steps were. Now, of course, life goes on. I pulled myself out of that. I said, okay, I'm not going to commit suicide. I'm going to keep going. At the age of 35, I got a woman pregnant and I had my first child. Okay, and I decided I'm going to take on the responsibility of providing for this child. I'm going to step up. I'm going to do it. I saw the crossroads. I was like, yeah, I'm either going to work at a gas station the rest of my life or I'm going to like start a business and figure out how to make enough money to support my kid. So that's what I did. And I started a clothing store at the time. It was very hard to do. I had a little bit of credit card. I had like $3,000 on a credit card and I just bought stuff on the credit card to start a store. I don't know. I figured it out. It was horrible. I think I started the whole store on like less than $5,000. Okay. And I built that business up and I lost it all because my self-esteem wasn't there. I think at the peak year of that business, I made $600,000, which was incredible. It was the most money I'd ever made in my life. And I was providing for my family, but I hadn't addressed the wounded self esteem. So I was still damaged. I still had abandonment trauma. I still had the poverty programming in my DNA and my cells. So I lost it all. I lost that business. I overextended. I went too far in debt. All of a sudden, the money coming in from the business wasn't enough. I sold the business for pennies on the dollar just to get out of it. And it was one of the most horrible things because it was a great business. And I learned how much you can really mess your life up, by not knowing the right steps. The big breakthrough for me, though, and why I really want to say how I overcame poverty finally, is because at 44, I really decided enough was enough. I'm going to make a difference. Instead of feeling sorry for myself, instead of having this abandonment trauma and this poverty trauma, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take all of this loss, all of this grief, all of this hatred toward myself and the world, and I'm going to flip it around. And I'm going to serve people. Yeah, this world sucks. Yeah, I don't want to be here. Okay. But instead of feeling sorry for myself, I'm going to try to make a difference for others who are also struggling and feeling like crap and have abandonment trauma and poverty trauma. And at the age of 44 years old, I started coaching. I started getting on the phone with people, getting committed to coaching. And I spent a couple years doing coaching calls. Okay, it was hard. I didn't make any money. It was just like I just was deciding I was going to get out of my own way and stop feeling sorry for myself. But then at 46, I started my membership, Raw Vegan Heroes. It was the next step of really deciding I'm going to do it. I'm going to go and really help people go vegan. I'm going to help them detox. I'm going to help them get off animal products once and for all. That was how I felt I could really serve people. So I started my membership, Raw Vegan Heroes, when I was 46 years old. And you know what? It's been transformative. Since the age of 46, that's who you guys are looking at right now. It's changed my life on a cellular level. I've shifted the abandonment trauma. I've shifted the poverty consciousness because I decided to really, really, really be of service, to get out of my own way and be a servant. Instead of worrying about me and what I'm experiencing and myself, I decided I was going to worry about other people and help. And I started this membership. And today I have 5,000 people in Raw Vegan Heroes. Last year in 2024, I made $850,000 with my membership, Raw Vegan Heroes. It's been life-changing, and a membership has been an incredible freedom model. I talk a lot about it. I do a lot of trainings on YouTube. I actually come on and talk about it. I have a whole playlist on my business trainings and how I started my membership. You can find that playlist. But the membership model has created incredible freedom for me, and I want people to understand how important it is. You got to get out of self-focus and flip the lens to being other-focused. And now I provide mentorship for other people who need help. I've made it my life's mission, my life's work to help people understand how to overcome the low self-esteem, the abandonment trauma, and get out of poverty once and for all. But more importantly, get out of the poverty consciousness. So I started my business mastermind. My business mastermind is where you can apprentice with me. We do a weekly Zoom meeting. Okay, there's currently 158 members in my business mastermind. It's a really small but powerful, powerful group. Most of them are plant-based people, raw vegans, people who are wanting to start their own raw vegan memberships. I really help people start memberships, grow email lists, learn online business, learn how to make six figures a year. You can make six figures a year with the proper mentorship. All you need is the Zoom recording library. Every Zoom that I've been doing, okay, for the last 2 years, I've been running this program. Every Zoom is recorded in a member replay library. You can go in there and just watch the Zooms. You'll learn every single thing you could possibly know about the mindset, the leadership, how to set up the website, how to create your first offer, how to start a YouTube channel, how to develop your voice, how to get out of your own way. I mean, I've talked about it all. I've done extensive trainings one-on-one with so many people. The mastermind is incredible. It's really incredible to be around other like-minded people. We can't transform alone. Okay, this is the one thing I've learned. We can't transform alone. The reason why my membership, Raw Vegan Heroes, changed my life is because it was the first time I didn't feel alone. I felt like I was part of a community. I felt like I had something to apply myself to. And this is why starting a membership community can be the very thing that saves your life, because it'll give you the community, the connection. Connection is currency. Network is net worth. If you want to increase your net worth, increase your network. Start a network. Create a community. It's the answer. So my business mastermind is one-on-one coaching with me. Okay. It's apprenticeship. Now we have 158 members. We meet on Zoom, but look, I go out of my way to help every single person who shows up every week know what their next steps are. If you're on Zoom with me, I will make sure you have homework. You know exactly what your next steps are. I'll make sure you know exactly what to do. Okay. You will get all of your needs met with me on Zoom. My business mastermind is $2,997 to work with me for 6 months. Oh, and you know what I decided today? I'm going to offer 50% off for the viewers of this particular video. If you're watching this and you want to make a change, you want to start a membership, you want to get out of your poverty, I'm going to offer 50% off my business mastermind for the viewers of this video only. You can go into the description and find the 50% off discount link for this video only, okay, which is a really, really great deal. That makes it $1,498 for 6 months of coaching with me, mentorship with me, apprenticeship, mindset training and leadership, business skill building, developing your voice, okay? And it's a great ROI. If you invest $1,498 and you work with me for 6 months and you learn how to make money online, it's going to be worth the investment 100 times over. My goal will be to get you to six figures a year because I think that's the baseline. Earning $100,000 a year is like the new minimum wage. Okay, so you have to learn how to make 100,000 a year, and I can really help you do that. It's really simple. Okay, really, really simple. I'm highly dedicated to it. And investing in business mentorship with me is the best thing. You don't have to work with me, but if you like my style, if you want a membership, if you're a raw vegan, this could be the perfect fit for you. Okay, go click on the link and look at the discount. It's awesome. I hope this video was helpful how I finally overcame poverty at 46 years old and how I've dedicated my life to service and how stopping being sorry for myself was the pivotal mindset shift that I needed to permanently change my low self-esteem and abandonment trauma pattern once and for all. All right, much love to you guys. I'll see you in the next video. I hope this was helpful.